Manzi, who has been able to come this afternoon. And I don't know, it says here Feng Shui life mapping. So, Salvatore, first of all, thank you so much for showing up today
It's a pleasure to be here.
on a very busy weekend in
It's
San
crazy.
Francisco.
Yes, it is.
And I'm happy I met you, and I'm happy you accepted the invitation on my show. It's also all about your profession. So I understand you do Feng Shui, which is more, it's not Italian, it's more Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have interest in that for what reason?
You know, I started it 16 years ago, and my life was sort of in shambles.
Yeah.
And somebody gave me a book on feng shui, so I started using it, and within months, my life was turned around. So I became a believer.
Using it?
Using feng shui, yeah. I got a new job. I moved to a better apartment. My relationship changed significantly.
Really?
So I was like, okay, this works. You know.
What did you try that worked?
So in my workplace, I had a boss who was a micromanager, just always looking
checking
over my
on you.
shoulder, right? And the way I was sitting, I had my back, my boss was behind me, so I could never see my boss. I was sitting here, my boss was over there. Well, in feng shui, we don't want to have our back unguarded. So when I put a little mirror on the side of my
So
computer.
you know when he approached you?
So yeah, I could see when she was approaching, and then all of a sudden, like the energy just dissipated.
Or
Like,
she decided not to check on you
You know, I don't think it was just that she wasn't checking on me. It was I wasn't fearing that checkup
anymore.
right? Because I
Oh.
could actually see when it was coming, so I wasn't constantly anticipating.
Interesting.
So I was able to relax.
First, you were able to relax.
Right, and when I was able to relax, when she did
And
approach,
Feng Shui told you to do that?
yeah, feng shui, you need to have your back in a command position. Like right now, I have a wall behind me,
Yeah.
so I feel protected.
Oh.
But if I had my back to the door or to somebody else, then I don't have that protection. I don't have that sort of
You
privacy.
want to be in control, kind of thing.
You want to be securely supported.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to be in control, but need to be supported. Have something behind you.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you tried that made your life easier.
Changed my life.
All
Definitely
right.
changed my life.
So there's something else you tried.
Yeah. So this was a long time ago. I was deeply in debt. And so I started, I moved to LA without any money. I had to buy a
Oh.
car. There was a lot of rigmarole. But
Moved to LA from Italy?
I was actually living in San Francisco
Oh,
before
okay.
then.
You decided to go there. Okay.
And when I accrued all this debt, which I was unfamiliar with, I didn't know how to handle my finances and budget. So I started changing the way I look at my home to see what aspects of my house was reflecting my debt and what aspects were reflecting my prosperity.
Okay.
And by focusing on the prosperity and eliminating the broken things, the dead light bulbs, eliminating the dead plants and fixing the lights that don't work, by taking all these little tweaks, I improved my home environment to feel more prosperous and more alive.
So what did you do in home again?
So I had a dead plant, got rid of that.
Okay.
I had some broken items in my kitchen, like a broken coffee.
Got rid of them.
Yeah, I got rid of them. And then I had some light bulbs that weren't working.
And you fixed that.
I fixed them. So
And you felt good.
so all of a sudden my space didn't feel so broken. It started to feel like enabled. So
Oh, that's a good point.
it changed my feeling around prosperity and
I
seeing,
also get rid of anything that's broken in my house
That's
because
good.
it gives you a bad feeling, right?
yeah. It sends a message of I'm not good enough for the clean, healthy, perfect thing. I have to
Oh.
make do with this
With
broken thing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm not saying that you need to throw away everything that's
Everything.
broken. There's a function to it. I tell people if it's not used, if it's not loved, or it's not finished,
Get rid of it.
get rid of it.
Okay.
Not used, not loved, or not finished. That's dead weight in our
It's
life.
dead weight in your house.
Right, and dead weight in our life. It's like we
Let's get
can't
rid
move
of
forward.
it. Let's
right.
move it.
So if I have a broken plate, but I love that plate, it still works.
I will try to fix it.
Yeah, I will try to fix it. I'll still use it and feel that sense of love with it.
Oh.
Like my grandmother gave it to me, and sure, it's chipped.
It's just a
but
memory.
Yeah, it feels good when I use it. So you don't have to throw away every broken thing.
If it has a sentimental value, keep it.
Right. If it gives you the feeling of love,
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we want to walk into our home and feel a hug, you know?
Oh.
We want to walk in and feel like everything is just embracing us and giving us love. And when we walk in and we think, ugh, I got to do the laundry, I got to fix that thing, I have to clean that thing, it's not that feeling that we want.
You want clean environment.
Clean is
Very
clean
important.
certainly helps. Yeah, clean helps a lot.
And get rid of all the clutter.
Clutter is the biggest challenge to especially Americans.
Yeah, because we receive so much junk mail.
Junk mail, gifts, things are so cheap. It's easy
And
to
then
pick up stuff.
they pile up. And then you have to take one day a month to get rid of it.
At least.
Oh, okay.
When I tell people about working on clutter, I tell them start with the smallest area of your house.
Really?
Start with one drawer or one cupboard or one closet.
And get rid of it.
And
Clean
that's it
up.
for the day and be
okay.
finished.
This
right?
way you don't feel overwhelmed.
Right. That way you don't look at your entire house and say, I'll never get to
There's
all of
too
this
much.
clutter. I'll never get to it all. There's too much out there.
Okay.
But by taking one little day of just doing this little drawer and then the next day, and then in the end you get to the garage and you tackle that garage and all that stuff.
That's a headache.
It's a full day's work, typically. But yeah, you have the energy for it.
Yeah, there's people who specialize in being organizers.
Yes, and I honor them for that because there's a whole psychology around, how does my mind work with organization? And everybody is different.
Yeah, especially if you have so much papers.
Right. Papers or food, how do you organize your kitchen or how do you organize your closet or all of those things. So I honor professional organizers. They do a good job.
In the old
of that.
days I had a lot more clutter, but now everything is digitized.
Yeah. It certainly
It
helps.
makes life easier, right?
Yeah. It's nice.
So as you did all these things, you felt better
Yes.
and your life got better.
I felt better, but my life started getting better, which made me feel even more better. It gave me hope and inspiration. So I went from this place of being like, wow, this is all that life is, credit card payments and a job I don't want to go to wow, there's still creative possibilities in the world.
Oh.
And making little tweaks around my house is a fun way to remind myself.
That was the first year?
That was the first year.
And then it got even better?
Then I took Feng Shui and I combined it with vision boarding.
Ah.
Have you ever done a vision board?
I did.
It didn't turn out well, or?
No, but I don't have time to look at it.
Yes, it's important to give it a viewing on a regular basis.
Sometimes I put it in a roll and somewhere in a corner.
So what I did is I combined Feng Shui and vision boarding and created what I call a Feng Shui life map, which is why my website is fengshuilifemapping.com.
Okay.
Because when you combine Feng Shui and vision board, you get this life map. You can actually see where your life is going. And then you can take your vision board around your house and Feng Shui your house with it.
Oh.
Yeah. And when I combined the two of them, weird things started happening. I started meeting the celebrities that I put on the board. I started getting invited to the houses that I put on. Yeah, just
you met the
more and
people
more and
you
more.
wanted to meet?
Yes, like the people, no, not the people I wanted to meet, the random people that I cut out of magazines and put onto the
And
board.
by coincidence, they showed up in your life?
Yes.
That's unusual.
Again and again and again. I cut out a yoga teacher, and 2 weeks later, somebody invited me to a yoga class, and it was him teaching the class.
Oh my God.
Little things like that. So I was like, wow, this has really worked. Then I took it to the next level, if you're ready for it.
Oh.
I took my vision board around my house to Feng Shui my house, and I turned my entire house into a vision board.
Really?
Yeah, so I went over to the travel section, and I put up all these pictures of Italy, because I'd always wanted to live in Italy, obviously, Salvatore, and I changed the whole corner to be all about Chianti and pictures of Italy.
And you went to visit?
3 months later, I had a job, a visa, and an apartment waiting for me in Italy.
No kidding.
Without any effort at all.
Isn't
it just
that a
showed
miracle?
up. It is a miracle. So that's when I realized, like, everything in our apartment, everything in our space is reflecting who we are and who we are becoming as well. And if we change the environment to start telling different stories, we can change the direction of our life as well.
Wow.
So that's the essence of Feng Shui life mapping. And today when I go to people's homes, what I do is help them recognize the impact about their
everything.
home. Right. What does it say that you can only access your bed from one side? What's the story that you're telling yourself? And when we know that story, how can we change that story to be the story that we want? If I want to be in a loving relationship, I need to be able to access both sides of the bed evenly.
Oh.
So.
And you tried that too?
Yes, I've tried that with many clients. I've had so many wonderful stories of clients who have made little changes, and
Like that?
yeah,
They were
like
able to access on both sides?
right access that. I had a client who was fighting with her husband all the time,
Oh,
and when we moved the bed out so there was equal access on both sides,
it
the
worked.
fighting stopped.
No
There
kidding.
was no longer a power struggle of who had to get in the side,
Who had the window,
who
who
had the
didn't?
window, who could actually get in and out of bed easily. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
So it all works in the mind as you see the, the, the setting of the house.
It's a great way to think of it. So when I walk into my space, I see the couch, but unconsciously, I see the couch that I made out with my partner, and I sat and watched that movie, and so I get all these feelings unconsciously, right? I don't just see a lamp in my apartment, I see the lamp that my mother gave me. And, I don't really like the lamp, but my mother gave it to me, so I have it in there. So
It
there's
reminds you of her?
there's a little story. It not just it reminds me of her, but it reminds me that I have to take stuff that's not really what I want because she gave it to me. And so I've got these two stories unconsciously
Reminding
replaying
you?
every time I go into a space. And if I want to change my idea, if I want to change my story around relationships, I might need to change the way that couch is showing up. I might need to change the pillows or the fabric, or reorientate it somehow.
Really?
So that I can have a new story.
A new story.
And with that new story, then I start to see the world differently. When I start to, when I put the mirror up and I was no longer anticipating something bad because I had a story rolling, I actually had the fact, I had a mirror. The story changed, and then my relationship with my boss got all better. If I change the couch in a different orientation, and and it changes the story I have around what it means to be in a relationship or be looking for a relationship or whichever, then I can start moving my life in that direction as well. Does that make sense?
How about people who don't have too many choices in their living environment? They don't have everything that somebody can play with.
Right.
And their front room, bedroom, and everything is in one room. What do they do?
The one room studio. It's
Right.
I lived in a one room studio for a year.
So what do you do in those
Yeah,
conditions?
you look at each part of the area as representing a different aspect of your life.
So a little couch and a little bed.
Oh yeah, as far as organizing, you try to create little pockets. Like, here's my social area, here's my kitchen dining area, here's my bed sleeping area. So, and you try to distinguish between the three.
Oh, really?
So that you can feel a separation when you are in the space as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun to work with small spaces, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
because you can actually.
So you
get to
you
everything.
can if something doesn't, if you go to somebody as a consultant and you don't find everything you would like to play with, you go around it, kind of thing.
And I'm not sure what you mean. Like, do
Now, like, let's say you go to someone's house and then it doesn't have all the elements that you're ready to work with, so you
Such as
create
it-
those.
Yeah, if I go into someone's house, typically people, after I come to a consultation, will spend anywhere from $100 to $20,000. It really depends on
Of their budget.
on what their budget is. But the majority of my clients spend less than $200, because really what it takes to feng shui a space, to
Is to
align
just
it,
change it.
is to freshen up, loosen out the clutter, and then change the mementos. Maybe change the photographs, or paint a wall, or get a new runner for the floor. These kind of things.
It brighten up the room.
Right. Yeah. Anytime we add light, sound, aroma, we add energy to a space, and it allows us to feel more enlivened as well.
So your space over the years has improved.
Yes, I mean, it's very difficult for me to actually feng
Consult
shui
yourself?
myself. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm sort of blind to the obvious.
No, I
in
mean,
my
if you
space.
have to compare your living situation 13 years ago to
Oh,
your
gosh.
living situation now, you see a big difference?
It's a huge difference. It's not just that, it's an appreciation for what I have.
Really?
Yeah, I now like focus on the good things that I have in my living environment. Now, I don't live in a castle, but at the same time, I don't know that I want to live in a castle. I take advantage of the view that I have. I take advantage of the quiet that I have. I take advantage of the space that I have.
Oh.
And I'm a bit of a clean person, because
So you keep the space
I
pretty
keep
neat?
it pretty clean. Yeah.
Okay, except for mail that adds up.
Well, what I do is I designate a drop zone or
A
a
drop
clutter
zone of all the clutter.
Well, I think that everybody deserves a clutter zone.
Okay,
It's
so
I think
you
of it as
just
like
drop it.
yeah, it's an energetic compost bin in the
Okay.
house,
And then once a week you go through it.
or whatever, maybe a month,
Yeah.
however
And
long
then,
it takes to get full.
yeah, just yeah.
And that way, I don't feel anal about like I have to keep everything in my house in order.
Super.
I get this little area that I get to like dump stuff that I don't want to deal with.
And then it's either Goodwill or trash or
Right.
recycling.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, and because it worked for you, you decided to make a profession out of it.
Well, it was a long path. It worked for me. I started doing it for friends. I wrote my book and went on.
You wrote a book?
Yeah, it's called Feng Shui Life Mapping, and it's a book on how to combine Feng Shui and vision boarding to change your life, basically, and to organize your house. After that, I went on a book tour. I did a lot of workshops, and so it sort of evolved. It wasn't like I went right into doing it. I've also studied with spiritual teachers, a master Taoist and a Native American shaman, and it was through all of those different
that
feng shui.
influenced what you did.
It all started to influence my practice.
Okay.
And so
Are you well known now? Not yet.
I don't know what is well known.
It's word of mouth.
I go by word of mouth. I get a lot of referrals from Yelp and from other people.
You're on Yelp.
Yeah, I'm on Yelp.
And when people say good stuff about you?
People, yeah, I have like 30 really good reviews on there.
Really?
Yeah, which is nice.
Oh.
So.
Usually it's Chinese people who are specialized in this, right?
Good point. And there are two different schools of feng shui.
Mm-hmm.
There is Eastern, sometimes called Chinese, and there is Western.
Is it different?
Yes, it is different because the Eastern feng shui includes all the Chinese mysticism,
Okay.
numerology and 4 pillars and 8 mansions and flying stars and things that in America or in the West we would think of as astrology. The West does not have the mysticism, but has all the same principles.
But you don't
of
look
feng
at the
shui.
astrology, do you?
I don't. For my
Okay.
I
For
do
your practice.
Western because I feel it's easier for me to with Western clients to explain the principles of feng shui without also having to teach the mysticism around Eastern.
Do you tell your clients don't wear that color?
You know, I people ask me about color and clothes a lot, and
Yeah.
you know, color is going to impact your energy and your vitality. But I don't know that there's a definite yes or no for any one person.
Should
because
you throw away a specific color if it doesn't match your style?
You know, I honor again colorists and stylists who go in and do that kind of work. I think it's great. For me as a feng shui consultant, I'm looking at the 5 elements, which
What are?
wood, which feeds fire, creates earth, forms metal, holds water, goes around and feeds wood. So the 5 elements, and this is green, red, brown, silver or white, and what did I say? Green, black, or dark blue. So those are the 5 elements and the 5 colors. So if I am wearing red, it's because I'm a TV show host and I need to be expressive and I have a lot of energy.
Oh.
If I'm wearing blue, it's because I'm a guest and I need to be calm and I need to be centered. And
I rarely
presentable.
see women wear marine blue. I mean, dark blue. I see them wear like bright blue, but I rarely see a woman with that kind of blue.
Well,
Is it more of a man color?
You know, I can't answer masculine, feminine question necessarily. I personally like this. And
Yeah, because more men wear blue. Did you notice that?
I haven't really noticed that. I'll take a look around.
No, because maybe their mother gave a lot of blue colors to the boy and gave a lot of pink colors to the girl. So
Maybe.
as they grow up, they love those colors more.
Maybe.
I
Good
mean,
point.
I see a lot of men with the blue suit and the black suit, and I see a lot of women with the red jacket.
You know, I would agree. Seems to be some sort of men are meant to be in the more neutral, muted tones, and
Yeah.
women get to be creative and colorful and fantastic.
Okay.
But here in San Francisco, I think it's anything goes.
Oh yeah. In San Francisco, it
Especially-
could go wild.
Yeah.
But generally, men like a more, like you say, more like what you're wearing now. You agree with that?
I can't agree or disagree. I don't think it's my exact experience,
Okay.
but I can see that.
But
you
blue
probably
is your
see-
color.
I like to wear blue when I'm on TV, or
Yeah.
I like to wear maroon, red,
Yeah.
like a nice plum purple.
When you're at work.
When I'm on TV. When I'm out in the day to day, I can wear anything. I mean, it kind of depends on what
How
I'm in
you
the
feel
mood
that
for.
day?
Yeah. And what energy of the five elements I want to take on.
Oh.
Like if I'm feeling like I really want to go inside, be introspective, do meditation, I wear black. So that I can be all within. If I feel like I really need to be structured and organized, I wear white, because white is the energy of organization and order. So I'm able to sit down and focus a little bit more when I'm wearing white.
Okay.
If I'm out giving a presentation to a large crowd, I wear some element of red, whether it's my shirt or my tie or something, or a wild hat, whatever. I'm kidding. But I'll use that as a form of expression, a form of me moving energy outward and that fire energy. So I kind of pick whatever color is suitable
So
to
the color
the energy.
you wear for the day is how you feel for that day.
How I want to feel that day.
How you want to feel?
I mean, if I got dressed right at the minute and I based my whole day on that one feeling, it might not be, it'll change over the day. But if I wake up and I say, well, today I really want to feel productive, I'm going to wear green.
Really?
Because I want to be productive. I want that energy
Oh,
of
the
wood
green
and
is money?
activity. Well, green, you can think of it as
Green
that,
is
but
fresh.
green is wood.
Oh, it's wood. No, because I was told that Starbucks have a green sign because it's represent freshness.
Okay. I've not heard that.
I mean, the marketing people designed it that way to represent fresh coffee.
Okay.
And also, it's a color
Does
of
that work
freshness.
for you? Do you think fresh?
Well, I do wear occasionally a green pair of pants.
But when you see the Starbucks sign, do you think fresh coffee?
They say that subconsciously people think fresh, but I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if it's true either. That's fascinating.
But they decided to
I
keep
love
it
that
green.
kind of stuff.
They decided to keep it green. But it worked. Apparently, people are attracted to that green.
Something about Starbucks is definitely working.
Yeah. Yeah,
They are everywhere. I was surprised to see them in France. I was like,
Oh, yeah, I was surprised too. I went to
like,
Châtelet,
no,
I
yes.
went Châtelet was there.
I was in Marseille a couple weeks ago. And,
It was there too?
Right in front of that giant Ferris wheel
You're
thing.
kidding me.
It's right there. And I was like,
I couldn't believe it.
why is
Marseille is
there-
pretty conservative.
I was like, this is so, like, the coffee is so much better
You know what
here.
happened? They bought out, all those big chains, they bought 150,000 little coffee shops.
Right.
And little by little, they're converting them. People are retiring and they want to sell their little traditional French coffee
Let
shop.
it go.
And they see someone who gives them a big sum of money, they go for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they go retire.
Yeah.
But each of these shops have their own little style.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that it's being replaced by something so standard. Do you agree?
Standard. I don't know that it's sad. There's also something comforting,
Yeah.
Like there's
That,
something about knowing.
You recognize it.
I recognize it, especially if I'm in a foreign place and I don't know. Like if I go to a different city, let's say I'm in New York City and I see Starbucks, it's like, at least I know I
I'm
can go
home.
in there
I'm
and I
home.
can get my coffee the way I like it, and it's gonna, I know how it works.
It's family a little bit.
Yeah, it's some sort of like familiarity. I like that.
Familiarity.
It's family. It's like my brother. Starbucks
But
is
when
my
it
brother.
didn't exist in France, it was all little shops that had their
Yeah.
own little style, their
Yeah.
own little painting, their own little seats.
Yeah.
Everything very special.
Yeah, and you go in, and it's like you actually meet the owner, and you get to talk to him. You
And
develop
his
a
personality,
relationship.
yes. So anyway, you go meet a client. You don't dress a certain way. It depends of the day. And you give them how long of a consultation? 1 hour?
So it's a great question. People get a consultation at any transition period of their life. So if you just bought the home, you just got married, you just moved in together, you just had a baby, you just lost a job, whatever a transition period, that's when you would call me in.
And you
Because
say, let's change things.
Let's shift up the energy to match this new transition in your life.
Oh, I see. So they could consult you 4 times a year, 4 times in their life.
Yeah, in their life.
life.
It's really random. And sometimes it's just a small, like, hey, this is what's going on. They'll call me up, hey, this is what's going on. I'll be like, okay, make a few changes like this. Make sure your energy is grounded and go. So in consultation, the first time I come to someone's house, it's usually about 2 hours. If the space is less...
2 hours, that's a long time.
You'd be surprised. It's usually around 2 hours if it's less than 2,000 square feet.
Oh my God.
More than 2,000 square feet.
Because there's a lot to say about the space.
There's a lot to look at. and there's a lot of, because when I make a recommendation, I don't
Yeah.
just say, oh, you need to move this there. I actually give a list of recommendations. So like, here's your options for this feng shui challenge. You could hang a picture, you could hang a mirror, you could put a light, you could hang, and when I'm working with the client, we figure out what's going to work for that space, get that right item in there, and then go to the next one. So there's a bit of nuance to it. The bigger the space, the more little areas we need to look at and be
Okay,
concerned
so
with.
let's look at the three major area of life. So there is money, relationships, and health. So let's say someone wants to improve their health. What do they have to do?
Clean. First thing is clean out your fridge.
Clean out the fridge of all the clutter.
Get rid of anything that's expired or that you're not going to eat.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, wipe down pretend that you are magically going into your entire digestive system and cleaning it.
Oh, that's the first step.
Yeah, just like think about like wiping down all of the drawers and cleaning everything in there. And just imagine like you've energetically given your entire digestive system a little cleanse.
All right. And then you'll feel better.
You'll start to feel better.
Okay.
Plus, you'll also start to pay more attention to what you're eating. You'll start to notice, like, I'm holding on to these foods I don't use, or this is expired, and
let's get rid of it.
get rid of this stuff I don't need, and let's
Yeah,
put
like
healthy
I
foods
have in my
here.
fridge a bunch of, condiments.
Mm-hmm.
I never use them.
Right.
Get rid of them.
Use them once a year at a barbecue
And then
that
it
you got invited
stays-
to,
and
and then
it
it stays
stays
there.
yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it expired last year.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
So you do
get
have to get
all
rid of
that.
it, huh? Okay, I'll do that then when I get home today.
Good.
All right. So the second thing, everybody wants more money. There is
They do.
never enough money, even
It's
if
true.
you're a millionaire, right?
Well, okay, I hate to counter with you, but
But people always think there's not enough.
there's never an end to desire.
Ah.
There's never an end to expansion.
We
If
want
there was,
more.
we wouldn't be alive.
Oh, okay,
If I
okay.
continue to live, there's a reason, because there's something more for me to get out of life.
Okay, so
but
we
yes,
want
I
more.
hear what your
We
point.
want more.
We want to continue expanding. We want to continue experiencing life out
So
there.
if you make 6 figures, you want 7. If you make 7, you want
If you make
more.
6 figures, you want more chocolate. If you make, you get all
8
the chocolate you
figures.
want. You want to get a new car. If you get the car, you want the
And then from millionaire, you want to become a billionaire.
why not?
Why not?
Why
So you
not?
want to expand all the time.
I personally don't.
Oh, you stay at the same level?
I like to expand, but I'm not in search of money.
You're not in search of making more income every year.
I mean, making income by modest increments. Yes.
Modest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. I mean, if
Because the cost of living goes up anyway, right?
Right. I wish to keep my life in balance. Let me put it that way. I like
Okay.
to have my life in balance, and I
Okay.
don't want to be that lottery winner whose life
Spends
just
it all in one
drops.
day.
Yeah. I want to gradually increase so that it's an organic thing in my life.
Okay. Do you think as you have more money, you're happier?
Me personally, or generally for most people?
Generally. Do you think
I
it
don't
makes
believe
people
money
happy?
creates happiness at all.
All right. All right.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Money
no, I'm
can't
just
buy
asking you.
happiness or
I'm just
love. It seems to buy the illusion of ease and effortless life. But the more I receive, the more I have to give, the more I have to be responsible for.
Ah.
And a lot of people want to just receive and aren't aware of then the responsibilities of having received that.
Okay.
So I don't think necessarily having more is going to make anybody happy.
All right. So let's go quickly about the third part, which is a very difficult part, and that's relationship. That is the most difficult part to fix. Don't you think?
Well, I feel like that's
Because you cannot fix a relationship by moving things around in your house.
I think that it requires a change in mindset. If I could offer one to you, is
Okay, go ahead.
not to think of it as difficult.
All right. Let's see.
Let's change the story around making a relationship work is hard to making a relationship work
Is easy?
is easy.
All right.
Why
That's a
not?
good way to look at it.
And let's change the idea that fixing a relationship is hard.
Okay.
And say that, letting a relationship grow naturally is easy.
Okay.
So that would be my shift there. If
But
a
you
person
cannot
is-
move things around and all of a sudden your relationship is
Yes,
fixed.
you can. Not
You can.
fixed. Again, I'm not trying to fix a relationship, but what I will do is change the story around relationship.
Okay, so you see a couple on the verge of divorce, what do you do?
I would ask, like, where's the tension?
Okay.
Is it around money? Is it around the time that you spend together? Is it around, what is it? And then I would go to a space in the house that represents that thing.
Ah.
And I would say, what can we do here to give you a feeling of ease and freedom
All right.
around that topic?
Okay.
If it's around, I don't have enough time for him.
Mm-hmm.
Or
What'd you
her.
do? What'd you
And
do?
I would go into the living room and I'd say, well, where do you have space for each other to drop in, have a conversation, get cozy?
Oh, there must be a space.
There must be. And you know, oftentimes when there are arguments around you never make time for me,
Oh.
the living room is unused because it's too difficult to navigate and sit and quietly have a cup of tea together. and those
Oh,
kind of
it's too
things.
cluttered.
Right. Clutter or disorganization or anything like that.
Oh. What about if there's 3 kids running around? You cannot be
How
alone.
fun!
Yeah, I mean, you don't have time alone, right? Because they're all around.
The you know, I really want to honor parents because keeping a relationship going and raising kids, that is
Yeah.
like 2 full-time jobs right there.
So what are you gonna
So
do?
honoring them for doing that.
So you never
It's-
have time for yourselves.
Well, again, it's changing the story.
Oh,
Like not saying you never have time.
oh, what'd you do?
You would say, hey, how can we find time?
Oh.
Where do we have time?
Changing
Let's
the
make a list of the last year and when we had time and had fun memories. And let's focus on those times and keep our mind on the story of we do have time.
Christmas, we had time
Right, right.
because
So
we had a few days off. Okay.
Right. And so this is what we want. So let's focus on the good things that we did want. And let's keep our mind on that. As life rolls along and I keep focused on that, soon life will start breaking up and that story of we never have time together starts to be like, hey, we have this.
We do have time.
We have this time together. We have that time together. And we begin to have a new story going. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
so you change your story.
Change the story. Use your environment to help remind you of the new story.
Oh, okay.
And you start on a different path.
That's true. Some people stick with the story
Right.
and they cannot get rid of it.
They don't, well, yeah, they can't get rid of it because it's being reminded it to them every time they walk into the house.
All right.
There's a reminder of like, oh, you know, I can't find a new love because I can't ever find a boyfriend as good as my last one. Well, problem is when I go into your place, I see this couch that your boyfriend bought you. Every time you go
So
into your
it's a
couch,
reminder?
you're being reminded of your ex-boyfriend.
So
If
get
you
rid of
want to
it?
find, yeah, if you want to find new love, you need to get rid of the things that are reminding you of the old love from your
Ah.
space.
Got it.
Otherwise, we stay in the story of our old relationship.
Good.
People don't like hearing this because, yes, you do need to give away the gifts, the diamond necklace, the gorgeous shoes, the beautiful dress, all those things that were a gift from your ex. Get them out of your house for 30 days. It's called a 30-day challenge. Put
Oh.
anything that has the energy of your ex in a box and send it off to your parents or somebody else's house for 30 days.
Oh.
Having those reminders, those mementos, that energetic
Oh,
foot-
reminds you of the
fingerprint.
previous relationship.
Right, and when it's gone for 30 days, it's enough time to create a break and have you start into a new path around relationships.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we touch on all 3. So that's basically what you do. You touch a few areas of the person's life.
Typically, we do focus on 3 different areas. When I come to a person's house to do or office to do a consultation, I ask what are the life goals for the next year, and what are 3 areas: finances, health, relationship, and what do you want to get out of that? And then we walk around the space and make sure that it is reflecting
What
the new
goals.
story
Oh, the
that
new
they wanna
story you have
have.
to create for yourself.
Right. They make sure it's reflecting the story that they want to create in their life.
Okay.
And then they keep getting reminded of it every day, and next thing you know,
It's fixed.
it's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah. You go from having a very volatile relationship with your boss to, hey, we're getting along now, and all it took was a little mirror on the side of my computer.
Okay.
Crazy.
So after you say 13 years,
16, yeah.
16?
Yeah.
Okay. After 16 years, every year you improve on one of those areas for yourself, or somebody else do it for you?
Oh, so what I do for myself is I do an annual feng shui life map. I do a vision board, and
Okay.
it has all 9 life areas on the board. And I focus, what do I want to accomplish this year on those areas? Sort of my New Year's resolutions, but more of a visual representation of where my life is going to go
Okay.
in 2016 or 2017.
Oh, so you do a map for the year.
Yeah, well, I do a map for the year. I
Okay.
recommend doing a map whenever a person is going through a transition.
Ah.
If they're looking for a job, do a map. what do you want out of that job? How do you want it to look? How much money? What kind of clientele? What kind of, so,
Nice.
make a map that visually represents what you want out
And
of
they
life.
will appear a few months later?
Yep. I have dozens of miraculous stories to that regard, yes.
Okay, so you have to map it first.
Well, you have to map it either on there or in your head.
I'll try it.
Great.
Because I never tried that
Okay.
for a job. Okay. All right, so it's fascinating. I have to
you.
admit it's fascinating. Because when you see a result, then you say, must be something to it, right?
Right,
And then you say, okay, I'm encouraged to keep going in that direction.
right,
And then I'm going to keep on improving in that direction. And it worked for you.
right.
Okay.
And
so
life
because
keeps
it
getting
worked
better.
for you, you advise it to other people.
Yes.
Okay,
I've
so
seen
that's...
it work for so many people at this point that
It does?
it's just a joy to share it with people.
Oh, I'm glad you found something you like to do.
Yes, I
Yeah.
feel lucky.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Anyway, you described it different than, like you say, like the Chinese describe it.
Right.
Because the Chinese say, oh, you have to put like the lucky elephant in your house to attract money, or you have to put something that brings in money, like a green plant.
Or the frog. You
Or
can
the
do
frog,
the
the
foo
frog.
dog at the
Yeah,
front.
and the coin, whatever.
Right.
So yours is a different thing. It's the
can-
Western one.
The Western, right. I can still use those elements and items, but I
Yeah.
tend to use elements and items that the Westerners are more familiar with.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
what represents wealth and abundance to a wealth and
For us, we'll put the dollar bill in our fridge.
You could do that. That's
yeah.
a great idea. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's a crystal ball, or maybe it's a big crystal that's on your table. That energetically is bringing energy into your house.
Okay.
And yet, it's something that most Californians, or a lot of Californians, think of as being like abundant and rich. This beautiful crystal kind of thing, or maybe it's some beautiful
A symbol
vase,
of wealth. Yeah, a
Right.
symbol of wealth.
Shahuli blown glass.
Oh, wow.
You know, like
yeah.
something that says to you, rich abundance.
Hey, I'm rich. Yeah,
Right.
I was able to afford that piece.
That's what brings in energy. It's the same thing. Like if the elephant and the foo dog and the frog, those are all elements. Those are items that in that culture represent wealth, represent bringing energy into your life. So in the West, we use what represents wealth to you, what brings energy into your life. In my judgment, having a frog and having a rabbit's foot is about the same.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in rabbit foots. They will bring you good luck, right?
Ah, okay.
You know, that whole story?
That whole
It's
story,
like,
okay.
if I believe in the frog is going to bring me good luck.
So it depends what's your internal belief.
Right. If I believe in something, it makes it real
Okay.
to some degree.
Yeah, okay, so you perfectly described what to do, and I'm going to try a couple things when I go
Wonderful.
home, or maybe this week, and I'll send you a little text to let you know that
Please
I did it.
do. Please
All right.
do.
All right, I'll try a couple of these things. So thank you so much for
Thank
this
you.
consultation.
Yeah, it was fun.
Because I got some ideas from you. So it was Salvatore Manzi, who has some great ideas on how to improve your life. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much.
It
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure.
It
Thank
was.
you.